All right, baby, what's going on? Where y'all at? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Okay, where we at with it today? If you're here, say something in the chat. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're with me. hmm If you with me, let me know in the chat. All right, fuck it, and we gone. We gonna go ahead and get started. hmm
Are you going to apologize? Like Cory Booker has
Apologize
called
for what?
Cory Booker's called for it. He's
Cory
asking
should
you to
apologize. He knows better. There's not a racist bone in my body. I've been involved in.
Yeah. All right, we about to get to this shit. All right, because we just had a debate yesterday that, again, I will repeat. 4 years ago, when they said Joe Biden was running for president, I literally referred back to the head of state. It's a movie. Go look it up. The Democratic Party said that they put Chris Rock as a candidate just to put on the show, basically get the quote unquote minority population behind them, because it shows that we support minorities by having a minority run for our party. And so it wasn't about, he was supposed to lose. Okay, they told him, one of the ladies that he was working with, that was his handler, basically, she said, you were put here to lose, Mays. You were supposed to lose. Okay. When they said Joe Biden was running for office, I thought that's what was going on. They were just putting somebody in there just to keep the race going, get some uh some extra voters for next year, just to set up the next candidate. It's like, all right, we're gonna put this guy out there just to buy time. But really what we want to do is set ourselves up for the next election. That's what I thought that the Democrats were doing with Biden. Turns out he ended up becoming the president. Notice I didn't say he ended up winning. I said he ended up becoming the president by some way, somehow, some type of magic. But a lot of people sit here and talk about how Trump is a racist. Trump is a racist, racist, racist. He's so divisive. He's so this. He's so misogynistic. He's so racist. He's so racist. He's so racist. All right. If Trump is a racist, I need to know what Biden is. And Biden, again, this is a near 50 year, 47 to 50 year run at this type of shit that Biden's been saying. Comments that we can go back as well, not just comments, but legislation behind those comments. Okay. There's a difference. Biden's been pushing real legislation. Okay. And the same people who are voting for this man are the same people who want to cry about racism. The same people voting for this man are the same people who want to cry about racism.
Civil rights my whole career.
You cannot go.
Racist bone in my body. I've been involved in civil rights my whole career.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Wow.
The world is different. There's too much unfinished business for us to just look backwards. We have to look to the future.
I know, Joe. We We know Joe, but most importantly, Joe knows us.
That's right.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
What?
And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
What the
Even
hell?
Even call centers, was rushed overseas in the
What is he
hundreds of
talking
thousands.
about?
How many times you get the call? I'd like to talk to you about your credit card. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
In my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now. The Democratic Party is diverse, and it should be reflected as so in our leadership. Now, the Democratic Party is diverse.
Put you all back in chains.
It was
White
heckling.
kids. They're going to put you all back in chains.
In my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now. The Democratic Party is diverse, and it should be reflected.
They was heckling Biden. He said they're gonna put y'all back in chains.
As so in our leadership.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
What does that mean?
I'm not going to do this. What I'm not going to do.
If you got a problem with Trump, then you ain't black. Well, guess what? I definitely ain't black, buddy. In fact, I so happen to fit the description of the quote unquote people that the Europeans found here. Okay. So I'm an American. That's what I subscribe to. I am an American. You can be black, you can be African American if you want to be, you can be white, all that, whatever, I don't care. I so happen to be American.
This because Chuck, I'm not going to do this because let me just be really clear. Vice President Biden absolutely has a respect level for all people around him, for voters across this country, young people, older voters, voters of color, Black people, Latino voters, Indigenous, Asian American, Pacific Islander. So I'm not going to even traffic in any hypothetical conversation about if he is sensitive enough. In my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
I think Joe Biden might be suffering from that same white entitlement and privilege and ego, where he's just that old school white male who feels like, hey, man, they need me. I don't need them. Or I got them already.
Joe Biden is under fire this evening on comments he made about working alongside segregationist senators in the past.
Biden recalling his early Senate career, bringing up two segregationist senators, Herman Talmadge and James Eastland, who called African Americans an inferior race.
What the is an African American? But guess what? Some of y'all subscribe to that. He says you all are an inferior race.
In a caucus with James O. Eastland, Biden said, he never called me boy. He always called me son. At least there was some civility. We got things done. We didn't agree on much of anything. We got things done.
I think the two-party system, although my Democratic colleagues don't like me saying this, I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro, good for the Black in the South.
Good for the Negro, good for the Black.
And other than the fact that they still call me boy, I think they've changed their mind.
It's that old school white male.
This is wild business.
30 seconds.
Hold on.
Chains.
Hey,
they're gonna put you all back in chains.
Hey, they booed him. They booed him. He said they gonna put y'all.
They're gonna put you all back in chains. They're gonna put you all back in chains. They're gonna put you all back in chains. They're gonna put you all back in chains.
Oh man.
30 seconds or less. What kind of a chance would a northeastern liberal like Joe Biden stand in the South if you were running in Democratic primaries against Southerners like Mark Warner and John Edwards?
Better than anybody else. And you don't know my state. My state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. My state is anything from a northeast liberal state.
It's that
wow.
Old school white male.
Choosing Joe to be my vice president was one of the best decisions I ever made.
I bet it was, bucko. I bet it was Barack Hussein Obama.
Not the first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean, and nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
My son is Attorney General a year in Iraq, came back, and that's one of the things that he finds was most in need when he was over there in Iraq for a year. People would come to him and talk about what was happening at home in terms of foreclosures, in terms of bad loans that were these Shylocks who took advantage of these women and men.
Back from Mumbai to go meet with President Xi in China. I stopped in Singapore.
Do we need a maximum age for presidency? I think we need a minimum criteria for presidency as far as abilities go. You should be able to articulate a sentence. You should be able to respond to a question coherently. I don't give a damn if you're 106. If you can talk to me and express yourself and display that you have understood what I am saying to you through whatever your response is in a timely fashion, okay? Not any of this. None of that shit, okay? None of that shit, okay? None of that shit. We need a president who can. I mean, at this point, the bar has been set so low, but I think at least we Americans, such as myself, an American, deserve a president who can articulate a sentence. This is a shit show, okay? It's become, well, I'm not even going to go there yet. We'll get into that later.
To meet with a guy named Lee Kuan Yew, who most foreign policy experts around the world say is the wisest man in the Orient.
There's not a racist bone in my body. But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Yup, I figured it out. Huh, I don't have a problem. And I ain't black, but I definitely don't have a problem figuring out which, again, I'm not endorsing near one, but I'm just telling you right now, bucko. If I was, sure as hell, would not be Joseph Benedict Bedeves, Yana Bezlan, tickle the children Biden. Okay? Sniff the earlobe Biden. Sniff the head of the little ones Biden. I wouldn't be voting for him. Just saying. If I was. Not saying that I'm endorsing one Donald J. Trump. What are your thoughts on Bronny being drafted by the Lakers? Was it a good or bad look for the league? For the league, I think it's pretty much the same look that we've been looking at for the last 20 some odd years. Look at all these players whose parents have either, it starts even at the college level. The parents played Division One, okay? They played at the Dukes. They played at the IUs. They played at the Kentucky, so on and so forth, the Michigans. They've played at all these different schools, and their children end up going to these schools. The NBA players, they go to the NBA, and guess what? Their sons end up going to the NBA. This is not anything new. I believe Jason Tatum's dad was a pro. Brunson's dad was a pro. Look at Gary Payton, the Currys. The list goes on and on. Okay, so do I have a problem with it? If Dale Curry was good enough, he would have played with Steph. I don't have a problem with it only because I've already came to the point that I understand what the NBA is. Okay, it's not about the best players being the best players and showcasing that. It's an entertainment league. They use the guys who they know that they can control, and their children are going to have their genes and their same controllability. So they're going to keep that going. Those children are already born into this product. Doc Rivers, I mean, this shit goes on. Manute Bowl, we can go on and on. Their parents played in the WNBA because mothers also. Okay, there's mothers played in WNBA, fathers played for the NBA. Fathers are agents of NBA players, so on and so forth. Okay, we see pictures of these guys when they were 8 years old and 4, 5, 6 years old, and they got pictures with the NBA players picking them up and all type of shit. NBA players are their godfathers, all types of different shit you'll see. Okay, so at this point with LeBron, yeah, do I think that the NBA in itself is a joke? Absolutely, but not because of this. This is for all intents and purposes kind of cool for the NBA. It's something new and no one's ever seen before. And again, nepotism is nothing that the NBA has not been built upon. All right. So let's make that clear. One sec. What do we have? They're both racist, white supremacists. Uh they're both racist, white supremacists. I don't know who you're talking about. They're both Trump and Biden, I assume. Hey, that is something that we can discuss, but I just can't talk about folks who are only on one side and try to, well, more so folks who are on the left side, right? Folks on the right side, again, at first did not endorse Trump, if we're being clear. They ended up going ahead, but initially weren't endorsing Trump. And even so, still try to allow a lot of different things, interesting things to transpire, we'll say. Uh, Trump said illegal immigrants are stealing black jobs. Is there such a thing as black jobs? What does it mean? Um, hmm. So black jobs, what I would assume that means is low level jobs. I don't I don't I don't really know what black jobs are. That is foreign to me. I just would assume it means low level jobs. I don't subscribe to the terms such as such. So I have no clue. But what I'm assuming is what is trying to be implied. This is more propaganda. Oh, they're stealing black jobs. But basically, they're trying to say that the jobs that blacks tend to occupy are being taken by illegal immigrants. And so, therefore, they're stealing black jobs. I don't know what exactly those jobs are. We could look it up. But black, if you're so attached to these terms such as black and so on and so forth, then I don't know what to do for you. If you only look if you're only looking for black jobs, well, I'm sure those are already limited as it is. Maybe try looking for some regular people jobs, not just black people jobs. Just just a idea. Do we need a maximum? Okay, I answered that. Do we need a maximum age limit for president? Yeah, I definitely answered that already. Let's check this shit out. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Check this shit out, y'all.
You are supposed to trust the ones you love, but sometimes they're the most dangerous. This is Melody Feliciano Johnson. She's seen here pouring bleach into her Air Force husband's coffee maker. She seemingly really wants that life insurance. The husband started noticing his coffee tasting strange.
The husband started noticing that his coffee was tasting strange because this woman was adding bleach to it. Okay? This is going on. He happened to put that camera on her ass. All right. I'm so glad. And he's in the Air Force fighting for this country. And this is what this woman is doing to him. Okay. You know probably what was behind this, and you'll see. She did not get enough time. She did not get enough time. But what I'm assuming is not only did she want the life insurance, but she probably wanted to spend that life insurance on another man. Because when husbands in the military go off in deployment, you will see a lot of times that their wives are not as faithful, nowhere nearly as faithful as they should be. Okay. That's when they're in the streets. They take that time and just, oh yeah, yeah, go ahead, pretend like they're so sad that their husband is going on. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do while you're gone. Yeah, okay. And then, meanwhile, somebody is right there stirring up mac and cheese. Okay, somebody's right there stirring up mac and cheese, and this is what it leads drives them to do stuff like.
So he began to investigate.
Never trust a big girl in a smile. We didn't knew that sister pounds. I mean, why you making
Wow,
pounds to get
her, look at her.
Maybe she done did it for some miles. She done did it in some towns. Promise that
He would eventually hand over all of the evidence, and Melody was arrested for attempted homicide.
She was arrested for. Look at how long this is going on. Melody was arrested for attempted homicide, premeditated. This attempted homicide isn't enough. Premeditated. She needs to be under them, under. Okay, get her out of there. How do we let folks like this get off so easy? We let these women get off so easy doing this type of shit. Get her out of the game. Take her out the books. Take her off the chart. I mean, this is crazy. She was putting bleach in her husband's coffee. Okay? In her husband's coffee. I mean, wow. She was putting bleach in her husband's coffee. The same man who'd have been paying the bills for this woman, providing for this woman. She's living under, who bought that coffee maker, who bought all the shit she was wearing, paying for the roof she was doing this shit to him in. Disgusting. And like I said, she probably had somebody on the side that she was trying to free herself up for. So she was willing to kill her husband, take the insurance money, and then go try to live a happily ever after with somebody else that she was getting the guts grinded by.
Do you think that we can truly make change as things are right now?
Well, it starts in the home. You know, if the father's not in the home, the boy will find the father in the streets. Yeah.
And the woman.
I saw it in my generation and every generation.
As right and as accurate and honest as Denzel's being, he failed to mention the woman also, the girl also, the little girl without her child is also just as bad off. It doesn't work out for young men without fathers. It doesn't work out for young ladies without fathers. Fathers need to be present, okay? And women need to do a better job of making sure that they, before they go out and become pregnant by a gentleman, that that gentleman is going to stick around and be a present father. I'm not even going to say that they need to be in a nuclear relationship as and a married. That's statistically proven to work out for the children better. But just the father being present alone makes so much of a difference. And so women need to be so much more responsible and make much better decisions on, for one, choosing who they are going to have children with, okay, and allow access into their bodies to have children with. But on top of that, once they have those children, you have to then be, it's not just about, oh, he's not the type of person who would leave. Okay, well, are you the type of person who would drive someone away? So you need to choose better and you need to do better as women. You need to choose better men to have children with. And you need to stop driving those men away once you make that decision to have those children. And then men just got to step up when it's time. When you're with a woman who's reasonable, be reasonable. And you got to be better about these unreasonable women and giving them the time of day, okay? Let alone when we give them the seed. That's a whole different ball game. So it is on both. But I'm telling you right now, the biggest reason that these fathers are not in the home is because they are dealing with women who presented themselves as reasonable and became unreasonable to a degree that was detrimental to the father to drive them away. Okay, fathers aren't going to stick around when it's a detriment to them. So y'all figured it out.
Before me and everyone since. It starts in the home. You know, if the streets raise you, then the judge becomes your mother, and and prison becomes your home.
This interviewer was determined to get Denzel Washington to go BMW. For those of you new to the El Dorado Nation, BMW stands for bitch, moan, and whine, and Denzel Washington wasn't having it.
I want to just ask you though.
Did I see Matthew? Did you see the clip of Matthew Stafford's wife on a podcast admitting to hooking up with Matthew Stafford's backup? What do you think of that situation? I made a video addressing that directly. Go to my catalog with the video in my videos. You will see I actually addressed that in one of my last two videos, I believe yesterday. I broke that down completely, played the clip and went into detail. So go watch that clip. If you want me to go in further after that pause, let me know. Do you think a single mother has less value than a woman with no children? Would you date a single mother? On the sexual marketplace, a single mother absolutely has less value in the sexual marketplace. There's no debate on that. I don't think that's a matter of thought. That's just the facts. Um, absolutely. On the sexual marketplace value, would you date a single mother? I would, um, depending on the circumstance. Okay, how how damaged is she? Okay, how many children? How many baby daddies? How old? So on and so forth. What is her attitude? Right? How does she treat me? How does she respond to red pill type of shit? All right. Is she traditional or untraditional? How did she become a single mom? Did she leave her past relationship for an unreasonable reason? Was she just okay? Because I also paid attention to that. Did she if she left her last relationship for something that she should have or could have worked out, but just I can do bad and good all by myself. I'm just independent. I'm not. I don't need those problems. She'd probably do the same to me. Okay, so it is very circumstantial. If a man impregnates a woman and lets her know he wants nothing to do with the child, should he be obligated to pay child support? Absolutely not. If a woman gives herself, opens herself up to a man and becomes pregnant, that is her responsibility to make sure that that child is taken care of. Okay, that is her responsibility. If she chooses to lay down with with the man and get impregnated and bring a child into the earth out of wedlock, then she should be able to support that child. Absolutely. Now, on the other hand, should men be present in the child's life? I believe so. Absolutely, they should be involved. But child support, no. Should not be paying child support. That's a whole different type of ballgame. Should they be there? Should they be in the child's life? Absolutely. Should they have a role? Absolutely. But no. If you're for one, if you're married, you wouldn't have to worry about child support. So just nip that in the bud. And for two, again, you chose to do the deed to get pregnant. That is on you. So you should be able to support and provide for the children that you were so um so willing to engage in bringing into the world in the first place, and the activities to get them into this world. Okay, so if you want to let men go up in you most of the time raw, then hey, you should be able to support that child that comes of that situation, and not try to get child support. If you want child support, then guess what? You shouldn't be having a child. Why would why would a woman who is obligated to get child feels obligated to get child support is in the position that she feels the need to get child support, have a baby? If that's the case, be more responsible and stop putting yourselves in that position to where you even need to get child support off of men. Because when you're in relationships, you're together as a unit, there's no child support. So that's the biggest point there. Do you think single mothers have less value? I answer that. Man, pregnant that. What are your thoughts on abortion? Do you think it should be legal? That's a state issue. Abortion. I think that's on the state. Um, I don't really think it should be nationally outlawed. I think that's more of a state to state thing. If you had to choose, who is better actor, Will Smith or Denzel Washington? That's funny. Uh, I would choose Denzel Washington because I've done research, and I was actually just talking about this. Done my digging on so many different actors and entertainers, so on and so forth. I still haven't found anything on Denzel Washington. It's out there. It's probably real crazy once it comes out there. But I'm telling you, Denzel Washington to this point has come off as a clean cut individual. So I would like to, for now, until innocent, until proven guilty, baby. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. So I don't see any more questions in there. We're gonna end the live stream kind of early, but for good reason. Man's our review, and on that note, we through.